The call came late at night, jolting me awake. I'm in the ER, she said, voice shaky, laced with panic. It's nothing serious, but I need you to pay for the bills. My first thought was confusion. My second was disbelief. She had been on a date with her lover earlier that evening, the details she had casually shared to friends, and now she was expecting me to rescue her financially, to patch up the consequences of her own reckless choices. I stayed quiet for a moment, listening to the background, the beeping monitors, the muffled voices of nurses, the controlled chaos she was trying to turn into sympathy. You're joking, I said finally, my voice calm, even measured. She didn't respond immediately. She probably expected anger, tears, begging. She didn't get it. She got calm, detached. I hung up, poured a glass of water, and sat at the kitchen table staring at the phone, thinking about every late-night excuse, every hidden message, every lie she had told. The pattern was clear. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was habitual. And now she wanted me to pay for it. For her choice. For her recklessness. My jaw tightened. Something inside me shifted from sadness to determination. The next morning, I called the hospital. Not to pay, not to negotiate, but to confirm the bills. Every detail of her stay was noted. The charges, the insurance coverage, the financial responsibility. I kept records meticulously. Then I started planning. The revenge wouldn't be public, wouldn't be loud. It would be precise and unforgettable. When she returned home, she burst in like nothing had changed. I need you to take care of this, she said, waving the ER papers at me. Her eyes were wide, pleading. I took the envelope, weighed it in my hands, then set it gently on the counter. We need to talk, I said calmly. She frowned, confusion flickering. I told her I had gone through every bill, every detail, every charge. I explained that while I was capable of kindness, I wasn't responsible for the consequences of her choices. Her panic grew. She tried to argue, to guilt me, to frame it as a moral obligation. I listened silently, letting her unravel, her voice rising and falling, her words losing their power as I remained unshaken. Then I leaned in and said softly, "You're going to handle this. You made your choices. You deal with the results." The look on her face was priceless, a mixture of fear, disbelief, and something she had never seen before. Firmness. I wasn't her safety net. I wasn't her backup plan. For the first time, she realized she was entirely on her own. I followed through. I refused to pay a single cent. I documented every interaction, kept copies of bills, messages, and her own admissions of the night. I wanted her to see the consequences clearly, to feel the weight of her recklessness without me stepping in to cushion the fall. Over the following days, she tried manipulation, anger, threats, even tears. I stayed calm, consistent, impenetrable. Friends and family who had once assumed I would intervene now watched her falter, her confidence eroding as quickly as she had once built it. Every demand she made was quietly refused, every plea answered with steadfast detachment. The best part of the revenge wasn't seeing her suffer financially. It was watching her panic when she realized that her actions no longer had someone else to fix them. She had relied on me for years, thinking love meant automatic forgiveness, automatic coverage of her mistakes. I removed that safety net, and suddenly, she understood what she had taken for granted. Eventually, the calls stopped. She dealt with the bills herself, faced her choices, and I watched from a distance, unbothered, free. The sadness was there, yes. There's always a trace of what could have been. But the relief was stronger. I had drawn a line and stood firm. I had refused to become complicit in her betrayals. She panicked that night in the ER, but I didn't. I had the quiet satisfaction of knowing that sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't about getting even. It's about refusing to be used again. And that truth, unshakable and calm, was the thing she regretted most.